All right, let's talk a little bit more about understanding some other components about personal brands. You are your own company, regardless of whether you actually have a company today, or if you have an idea today, or if you're just starting out on your career journey. You need to think of yourself as a company, and companies must manage their brands. Starting about 15 years ago, the larger consumer-oriented companies began to hire brand managers, and they spent millions of dollars monitoring, evaluating, and managing their brands. You don't have to do that. You don't have to have people doing it for you, and you don't have to have a huge budget. You just have to be mindful that the only one that can impact your brand is you. Okay? It's up to you. But you need to think of it as one of the parts of your career that you're not going to ignore. You're not going to put on a shelf. You need to be proactively asking yourself, whatever time frame works for you, quarterly, yearly, every other year, what is my brand today? Has it evolved? Is it still an asset? Is it helping me achieve my goals? Am I out of touch? Do I need to ask some people around me? But you're the only one who can do that. And you are consistently building your brand, whether you know it or not, online and in person. Every time you interact with somebody, every time you are online, you are building your brand. People are experiencing you, right? And they're making judgments based on their perceptions. So, how many of you are on Twitter? Okay. LinkedIn? A few more. Facebook? Okay. What you do and say there impacts your professional brand. I watched the Today Show, I will admit it, and one of the things they were talking about this morning was whether or not employers should have the right during a hiring process to ask to look at a candidate's Facebook page. Well, as you would imagine, there are opinions on both sides. The employers say it gives us a really clear, accurate view of what that person's really all about. The potential employee says it's a huge invasion of privacy. My personal opinion tends to fall a little bit in the middle. I think you're foolish if you're putting inflammatory or dangerous material on your Facebook page anyway. I think you need to take a hard look at how it is in fact impacting your brand, but at the same time I do think we need a very strong line of what employers do or don't have a right to gain access to. All that to say, there are ways for them to find you, and whether you're looking to get into a university, to get into graduate school, to get into sororities and fraternities, people are looking at Facebook pages. They get spies very easily to look at these kids' Facebook pages. And they decide whether or not they want that kind of person's brand associated with their organization, right? So those of us that think that we can manage our brand online and that it will not affect our professional reputation, I think are really naive. And I have just a pretty decent example of that. Any of you remember Representative Weiner? He honestly believed that as an elected official, he could tweet things to women, and it would not get out. Think about what that has done to this man's life. Who would hire him? How is he ever going to have respectability back?